What movie did the director Noah Baumbach win an Oscar, BAFTA, and Golden Globe for?
Hi, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about White Noise with Adam Driver. But before we talk about it, smash that button. And what else do we say? Subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Smash that button to like and subscribe. It'll be helping us out a lot. Thank you so much. This is Be There, Seen That, the Big Bad Glass review. So today we'll be talking, as my sister said, be talking about White Noise, which I quite liked. I read the book, and I'll give my review of it after we listen to what my sister thought of it. Definitely a movie not for everybody's taste, because it has a specific, I don't know, it's just got that quality about it that I'll talk about in a few moments. Okay. How did you like the movie?
I started watching it.
Okay.
I started watching it, and I was really pleased to talk to you earlier in between our reviews, and you're like, let's go ahead and just review it, even though you didn't finish watching it. I was thank you God, because I hated it so much. I hated it. I don't want to watch this film. I don't want to watch the rest of it. I think I made it through like 20-30 minutes of it, and I couldn't. Like, I hated it so much that I didn't even want to fast forward it to see what was going to happen, because I didn't care. I didn't like it. Adam Driver to me is like hit or miss. Like, he's such an interesting actor in person. And in this film, I didn't need to see anymore. Like in Star Wars and in the sitcom, or I don't know if it's a sitcom, but in the show Girls, like I always wanted to watch him in those films and in those shows. But in this particular movie, I wanted nothing to do with him. He just bugged me.
Was it the big gut that he I guess it was real. I guess he ate a lot of food, or they padded it, because at one scene there's a doctor scene where he has his shirt open and it looks like he's got a gut, like something I would parade around. But I'm 70 years old. So, but he's supposed to be a professor, a fairly successful college professor.
I don't know why I didn't like him in it. I mean, he's not very likable anyways. I think he's just a really great actor. But anyway,
he should be in a Neil Marshall movie.
I couldn't even tell you much more than that, because I was not invested and I turned it off. So now convince me to watch it.
Well, I was just, first off, I said Adam Driver, of all people, should be in a Neil Marshall movie. He is a veteran, right? And was in combat. So I don't know if he was in Afghanistan, but he was in for sure Iraq. But I'm not sure about his entire military background, but he's definitely got one. So he would be perfect.
He does. Hold on for a second. I'm about to die. Hold on. I didn't plug this in. Sorry.
Uh-oh. We don't want to start it again. Anyway, I'll continue talking as she's upside down now, and that's how much she hated this movie. I liked White Noise, one, because during COVID quarantine, we had gone out to Palm Springs to hang out for a few days. We were still in the kind of the quarantine time. The restaurants are closed and everything. The place where we stayed was barely open, but so I went into the little Airbnb that we had rented, and I was looking through their little library, because I love to read, and I came across this book called White Noise. And I go, oh, that sounds ominous. I don't know why the title to me sounds ominous, right? So I picked it up and I started. I said, oh, this kind of relates to what's going on now, right? Even though the book was written in 1985, and I enjoy that kind of highbrow intellectual type stuff, right? So I didn't take the book with me, but I read it while I was there. And then when we got back to San Diego, I put it on my Kindle and I finished reading it. And I quite liked the book. And the movie is very similar. Very similar. I was surprised how similar, from what I can remember. It's been a couple of years. What I could remember from the book, I thought he did an excellent job. What's his name again? Noah Baumbach. This is not his best reviewed movie by any means, but I thought it was. I like the bright colors. I like the way they did the color. Talking about, I've really kind of started noticing how they colorize these movies, and the kind of the retro to the 80s. I was thinking more like 70s, but I guess it's supposed to be 80s with all the station wagons. Remember Dad's station wagon?
Yeah.
In those days, right? I love those damn station
Very
wagons back. I think they should bring those back, those station wagons. You know, I mean, they have all these retro cars in Chiang Mai, but I don't see too many of those station wagons around here. But those were funny, those old station wagons. But a lot of people had them, so they had that whole thing going. And then when you see a movie like this, you got to think Jewish, intellectual, New York, right? This is the world these guys come from. And even though this is Ohio, it still had that, you know, that actor, the actress who did Girls, she should have been in this movie too, right? But Greta Gerwig was in it. You know, it's A24. It's like the emo studio. They do all these emo type movies, right? The Lighthouse. What could be more emo than The Lighthouse, right? This movie, he does a lot of these type of movies, you know. He's done The Marriage Story, which I think was a pretty highly rated movie, right?
Yeah, I liked that one.
That he directed that one, and then the other one with Adam Sandler, the Mirowitz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Diary. Like I'm not a big fan of his, but I just wanted to see the movie because of the reading the book. And I liked it. I thought it was, I enjoyed all this, you know, the cult of the personality with Hitler and Elvis. You probably didn't even get that far, right? You know, they're trying to start the guy's trying to start Elvis studies at the college. And then, you know, he's using the Hitler studies as a, as his model for Elvis. And just all this stuff going on. I just thought it was amusing, not a laugh out loud amusing, but just kind of amusing. And then his wife, I thought she was very good. Greta Gerwig is the kind of the psychotic, more neurotic wife. And you know, this is like their fourth marriage for both of them. 4 marriages. I just thought, as a social satire, I thought it was pretty good. I think it was pretty right on. And it just captured that group of people very well. And it's like the son, he was like, this guy had it going on. He knew everything that was going on. He knew exactly what to do. He was like I said, but he should put this guy in charge. He's like, he's got it. This kid, the son has got it going on. Anyway, so I highly suggest that you finish watching this movie, because I thought it was, again, not a highly rated movie, I don't think, but I would give it, let me drink down a little bit. Oh, well, you know, about 60%, because I don't think the movie is for everybody. It's A24. And she says 0. And I think it's much higher rating than 0. 60 is much higher than 0, right? It's not for everybody. It's, you know, if you don't like the emo type stuff. And so my daughter loves this kind of movies. It's like, I don't know if she'll like this one, but she does like these type of films. I know that when I was with her when she was younger, we watched a lot of these emo movies. So I kind of got used to watching them and kind of, you know, got it. But this one, like I said, the main reason I watched it was because of the book, because of reading the book. And this guy, I think this guy was a college professor, this writer, I don't know, but he definitely came from that world, you know, the intellectual, you know, college academia type world. And this is just a good social satire. I thought it was, you know, and did it resonate with the COVID era? I mean, I guess it could for some people, you know. I think it's one of these movies, you either love it or hate it. I don't know if I love it, but I mean, it's going to be, you know, I think that people can't really, like you said, how'd you say? You just couldn't really tie into the characters at all. There was nothing that you cared about. And I liked the dialogue. I thought the dialogue, you know what it reminded me of? And you probably don't even like Robert Altman, which is one of my old classic directed MASH and many, many other movies. But the way that they moved the cameras around and the way they would capture all the dialogue going in and out. I mean, if you watch the original MASH from from 1970. His use of sound is so amazing. And I think that he was trying to do a little bit of the same in this movie, where, you know, you get these characters wandering in and out of the shots, talking about this and that, and somehow you're still capturing what they're saying. And, you know, the Rob Alba was famous for doing that. And this movie kind of does a bit of the same, where you get these characters wandering in and out of the shot, holding these conversations that you're just catching bits and pieces of. But you listen, it's pretty funny. And like talking about volcanoes or something, and the little girl goes, "Tell me more." I don't know. I just found all that. I just found the dialogue funny as hell, and that's what I liked about it. The dialogue was funny. The color palette was interesting to look at. I thought Adam Driver's maybe a different actor could have done a better job with that. Adam Driver, like you said, is a fine actor though, and his little bit of, you know, getting a little fat and everything. Did this whole thing with, you know, he's in charge of the Hitler studies, you know, the most famous Hitler study program in the country. I don't know if there is such a thing as Hitler studies. But the whole cult of the personality, and that's what got me. I really try to think about it. I know that the book really covered this quite a bit. This tie-in between cult of the personality and this toxic air event. I'm not sure how there's a connection. I know in our time there's a definite connection, you know, between Trump as a cult of the personality and COVID. There's a huge tie-in. So it's just odd that in the book he did have that he had this kind of thing going on. But I can't remember in the book how if they actually connected thematically or not. It was almost like two different stories going on. He had the one about the toxic event, and even in the movie it's the same way. Then he has this whole Hitler study thing, and this whole thing about Dilar, the pill Dilar, that she takes because she's scared of dying. So she takes a pill called Dilar because she's scared of dying. So it helps you to get rid of your fears of dying. You take this pill. You probably didn't even make it that far, right? To the Dilar.
I mean, no.
So
I mean, and she was taking it, but
you know, you could drag a horse to water, make them drink, but you know, they might not want to drink if they don't want to drink. So my sister doesn't want to drink. So that's fine. Again, we have a 0 and a 60%. I recommend the movie if you're into like a thoughtful comedy, a social satire. I thought I always forget the guy's name. Yeah, even Andre 3000 was in this. I thought that was him. He's one of the professors, the guy from Outcast, you know, the rap group Outcast. Yeah, he's one of the professors. I thought that was him. And then Don Cheadle is one of the professors. I thought he was very good too. So not one of this guy's highest rated movies. He's had much bigger movies than this, or much more better reviewed. He actually, Noah Baumbach, is so well regarded as a screenwriter. He's like one of the few people that won all 4 critic screenwriter awards. He swept them all 4 in the same year. So I don't know if I don't know if it's for Marriage Story or what, but he's one of the few people that have ever done that. Writers have ever done that. So he's a very capable, extremely, high intellectual type guy. So anyway, I recommend it. But if you just want a belly laugh, I suggest go see Abbott and Costello. I think they should make a movie, Abbott and Costello Get COVID or something like that, right? But if you just want a kind of a thoughtful social satire with a few laughs, or just it kept me kind of amused. And I thought, I thought the guy kept it moving at such a kind of an intellectual movie. He kept the action going, with the car crashes and stuff. And like one guy, this Don Cheadle character, he does an entire class on car crashes in the movies. That's what his class is on. And his
I saw that part.
You saw that part. It just went over your head, I guess. Okay.
I'm not convinced to not watch it.
She's not convinced.
I will not be going to watching it. the rest of the film.
Okay, well, the last A24 you saw that you hated was I can't remember the name of it. The Green Knight. That's the last
Yeah.
A24 review. I think that was the last A24 review, and you hated that one too, right? So
No, I didn't hate that one. No, I didn't. I hated
Oh.
Slumberland.
that was an A24 though. That was something else. I don't know who produced that. I think we talked about it, but I can't remember now. Anyway,
Yeah,
okay,
Green
so
Knight.
you rated Green Knight a little bit above this one.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
for sure.
Well,
Yeah.
boy, we really disagreed on this one. So that is all I have to say. So I high recommendation to watch, and Doug's recommended it all. So yeah, just make your choice. That would be White Noise, now on Netflix. And
Let us know what you think.
let us know what you think. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much. Good night and goodbye, or good day.
Noah Baumbach's Marriage Story won an Oscar, BAFTA, and Golden Globe. See it on Netflix.